Yes, thanks a lot, madam, for information.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah. So today we're going to discuss some applications of computer networks with the help of this very handy tool, that is Cisco Packet Tracer. Now, if you are observing onto the bottommost part, we are having here different options over here. So we are going to use these options. So if I am clicking on one of the option, it will going to explore multiple components of computer networks. Now let me show you that. On the left hand side, if my cursor is on to this now network device, the names it is written in this particular point location. So here whatever the networking devices are available, so the first one is routers, second the switches. If I'm clicking on the switches, the type of the switches available, that is explored on this particular window. If I am clicking on the hubs, the type of hubs that can be offered will be shown. If it is wireless devices, click on it. All the different sorts of wireless, such as your Wi-Fi router, the gateways, okay, your cellular towers, all the different types of devices are explored over this particular location, which is not restricted to, but we are having again here the security and the cloud option also. Okay, so I'm now starting my today's application. That's from the very basic one. On the left, in this we have this another option of end devices. So what can be the end devices? Now suppose I'm here observing the personal computer, laptops, servers, printers, or multiple devices. Those we are currently using in a network. Now suppose I am simply clicking on the device and simply dropping it. Now I'm here using here two computers. Okay, these are the personal computers. You can double click it here and provide the name of the computers. Or as I mentioned, the humans or the users are identified by our names. In the same way, computers are identified with the help of IP addresses. Okay, so if I'm having these two computers, so I needed some medias in between to connect these two devices. So if I'm clicking on this particular option, these are the connections. So different sorts of cables are available for me. Okay, so it is suppose it's a copper straight cable, whether it's a cross cable, fiber cable, phone cable, coaxial cable, number of different types of cables are available. So it is up to you what type of connections you are needed to establish the connection between two devices. Okay, now if you're not able to understand which cable I should use, so in that case you have this first option. So this option indicates it will automatically choose the connection type. Now take one example. I don't know how many of you are aware about it. If I want to connect two same devices in a network, I should go with which type of cables? Anybody knows it? Means two computers, two switches, two routers. In a way, what type of cables I needed?
LAN cable.
Copper straight through.
Okay, it's copper straight through. Okay, so the answer is it's a cross cable. It's a copper cross cable I needed to connect two same devices in a network. I can go with the cross cable. But if it is two different devices are there, such as a switch to computer, router to switch, or router to systems, okay, any devices. So if the devices are heterogeneous, means different devices are there, in that case I can go with the copper straight cable. But in this case I'm having two same devices in a network and I need to exchange the information between them, so I can go with the crossover cable. So this is the cable I'm talking about. It will be indicated by a dot structure. So I can go with, click on this, select the fast Ethernet option first, and now connect it to the another fast Ethernet port onto the other device. This is the one way. If you don't know, suppose now I am now going to erase this. Now suppose I don't know, I don't have that knowledge of which cable I should use. So that is why this first option is very much important. So it will automatically identify the type of cable needed to connect different or same devices in a network. So I can choose it, and I'm simply click on the first computer and I'm simply connecting the second computer. Now see, the same crossover cable is selected. Okay, now I can say that these two devices are physically connected, but I cannot give the guarantee that they are logically connected. Means logically means whether they can exchange the information or not. I cannot say that. So for that reason, I need to assign certain logical addresses to the devices. That is called as IP address. And yesterday we have gone through the various exercise modules of your IP address. Now let us see, I am just providing one IP address from class C IP address because only two devices are there. So I am now picking one IP address as 192.168.1.1. So this would be my first IP address. And for this system, I can give 192.168.1.2. Now these two IP addresses, we cannot assign the same IP address to the multiple devices in a network. I will show you again. Okay, why not it can be given? It will never accept your connection. But this is the name and nomenclature it is provided. But actually assigning the IP address is different. Click on this first computer so that it will be going to provide the different options. So this is nothing but your CPU. Okay, we have this LAN connectivity and switch. You can turn on, turn off the switch over here. Okay, and if I go to the desktop mode, here we'll observe multiple options. So currently I am interested in to assign the IP address to the system. So I can use the first option as IP configuration. I can click onto it. So there are two different types of IP address assignment can be there. First is a static IP address, another is a dynamic IP address. That is DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Static means it is fixed one. So whatever the IP address we would like to provide to the system, that I need to mention it here. So I can write 192.168.1.1. So if it is now, what is the class of this IP? If it is starting from 192, yes?
C.
It is class C IP address. And what can be the subnet mask value of class C?
255.
It is 255.
Yes, very correct. So it is 3 times 25 for you and 0. So if you don't know about it, simply click on now below the option is subnet mask. Once you click onto it, system will automatically identify the type of IP and it will write the subnet mask, which is 255.255.255.0. So in this way, you can provide the IP address and the respective subnet mask. So I have configured it for the first device. In the same way, I can click on the second device, go to the desktop option and click on the IP configuration and again give the static IP address as 192.168.1.2. Okay, and click on the subnet mask. It will automatically identify the type of IP, okay, and write the subnet mask automatically. Now I can say that these two systems are now connected logically. But how that can be proved? So in computer networks, we have very good utility. We can call this utility as ping utility, P-I-N-G. Ping stands for, it is packet internet grouper. So this particular utility is based on the sonar technology in communication. Means it will capable of finding the distance between the obstacle and the transmitter. So if you are taken the example of bat, okay, bat always sends some audio signals and echo back signal will be recorded, and from that the distance will be calculated. In the same way, if I want to now check whether these two devices are capable of exchanging the information, I can click on to the second computer and I'm using this utility in command prompt. So you have this option here, command prompt. You can write it here, PING, ping, and the destination IP address. Now my destination system is now 192.168.1.2. dot 1 dot 1. So if I hit the enter, I'll be getting certain responses. So these responses are actually, it is what actually. So the transmitter system send one echo request signal to the destination, and destination, if you are getting such responses, so means that destination system is currently available in a network and you can transmit the data. So let me copy these lines, as these lines are very much important. So let me go to the word, and now zooming in that section and show the content. What are these? Yes. Is it visible? Now see. I am pinging this destination IP. Okay. So I am getting here 4 echo responses. By default, for ping utility, only 4 packets are sent and 4 packets are received. So what kind of packets are used here? In the ping utility, ICMP packets are used. Internet controlled messaging protocol. Okay, it is used, it is just like it's a control packets, means you are going to check the status of the destination system by sending these ICMP packets. Okay, just like on, take a general example, on highway we have certain traffic monitoring devices or vehicles such as policeman vehicle or other kind of monitoring vehicles. So this ICMP will simply just like that. Okay, it will just check the status in your network and inform it immediately. So internet controlled messaging protocol, so it will try to send the ICMP packet with the size of 32 bytes. It is the size of ICMP packet. The time required to send the ICMP packet from the transmitter to the receiver, and again getting the response from receiver to transmitter, again that is echoed back signal. So this time called as a round trip time. What is round trip time? It is a time taken by the packet to move from transmitter to receiver and echoed back from receiver to transmitter again. So this time is very much less. It is less than 1 millisecond. So this action has been done at very drastically in milliseconds, or might be sometimes in microseconds only. Okay, and very important part in your response is TTL. TTL stands for, it is a time to live. Okay, so means what is the time, lifetime of the packet. So if it is written 128, means your packet can travel up to 128 routers. If your packet crosses one router, the TTL is decremented by 1. So in this way, it can process 128 routers. Okay, and that is the lifetime of your packet. After crossing the TTL, if TTL value is reached to 0, the packet will be considered as dead in an environment or in your network. So it can cross only 128 routers only. Okay, and here at the last we are having the summary of or statistics of the packets sent and received. So what it indicates, the total number of packets sent 4, and yes, 4 packets are received. So how many packets are lost? 0. So 0% of lost is recorded. But if now see, in a network, now I'm just going to ping another IP address which is not available on internet or network. So I'm pinging 192.168.1.3. I'm never getting a acknowledgement because that device is not available in a network. So it gives the error message as request timed out. Transmitter is searching for the device, but that device is not available. So nobody is there to give the acknowledgement of your requests. So you are getting this error message as request timed out. And if you are observing here, packet sent is are 4, but received 0. You are never getting any responses. So your loss is your whole loss, that is 100%. All the 4 packets are lost. Understood? This is the one command utility that is very important if you are going at the preliminary or beginner stage to check the consistency of your network, whether the device is currently part of your network or not. So simply ping the destination device with the IP address, or you can, with the help of DNS number or DNS address, you can get the responses. Yes, if you are getting the responses, you can say that the devices can communicate with each other. Okay, another one, if you want to check the IP address or the details configuration of IP address or the devices, simply you can use the utility ipconfig. So if I'm providing ipconfig and hit enter, I'll be getting certain option. Now see, the IP address of the device is 192.168.1.2 and the subnet mask value, I come to know that. Along with that, it is now IP version 4, but I am having another option. It is automatically getting the IP version 6 also. Okay, so these are the some of the basic inputs you require for going to the higher version of applications. Understood? So I'm now removing this as we need to move ahead. So as this is a very basic one, now I can go with the implementation of here one of the topology, and we'll see how the data can be communicated from one device to other device. So what I needed, I can click on the end devices. I can select few computers, personal computers. Suppose I am selecting here 4 computers. And to connect these devices, now I need to implement one of the topology. Now I can use or here implement a star topology. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just go to the network devices, click on the switches, and here you have one option of 20 port switch, means 24 devices can be connected. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, click on the connection, select the first option, that is automatically choose the connection type, and simply connect all the computers one by one. Okay, so once you have connected all these 4 computers to a single network switch, now what should be your next task? You need to assign the IP addresses to each of them. So I'm now providing the IP address sequentially, 192.168.1.1 to this computer, 192.168.1.2 for this computer, so 1.3 for the third computer, and 1.4 for the other. This is only nomenclature, okay, for understanding purpose, but actually you need to provide the IP address by going to the IP configuration. So click on this device, go to the desktop, go to the IP configuration, and provide here the IP address of the device. So for first IP address or for first device, it is 1.1. For second, go to the desktop, go to the IP configuration, click here, provide the IP address as 192.168.1.2. Go to the third one, go to the IP configuration, 1.3, and finally it is 1.4, 192.168.1.4. So now we have provided all the IP addresses. Now we need to check whether they are properly communicating with each other. So I'm now clicking on any one of the computer, okay, going to the command prompt, and I'm pinging all the remaining IP address. I'm pinging first 1.1, so I'm getting the responses. Now I'm now pinging the another computer. That is also I'm getting the responses. Now 1.3 is the same device, so you can ping to the same device also. And finally 4. Now I'm getting the responses from all the devices, means now they can capable of exchange the data. Now I'm just going to simulate it. Now what I'm going to do, if you are observing here, we have one option. So let me show it here. We have the message option over here. So I can take this option of first message and click on the first computer. So that is 1.1. So my transmitter is 1.1, and I now click the second click on one of the computer, that is receiver. So 1.3 might be my receiver. Yes. What I did, I have taken this particular message, click on the first device, that is my transmitter, and then I click second to the receiver device. Okay. Now on the right hand panel, I'm having here two options. Okay. If it is not observed, I can round it up here. So whatever we did earlier, it is in real time mode, but we have another mode of simulation. Okay. Now I need to check, that is I need to simulate it. Now I can click on the simulation mode. So I'm having here lots of options, lots of protocols are available in your networking. So I'm now deselect all, and I'm simply using the ICMP, one of the protocol. Okay. So I can say simply check this protocol only. Okay, and once I click on this play button, okay, the packet is now ready. If you are observing, this packet will first come from the transmitter, it will come to the switch, and from the switch it will transmit it directly to the receiver, and from the receiver the acknowledgement is coming back to the switch, and again it will be going to the transmitter. Okay, let us see. Now I'm now clicking on the play button. See, this message is now moving. Now it visited to switch, and from the switch it is sent to my receiver, and now from the receiver, now the acknowledgement is generated going to the switch, and again it will become back to the transmitter. See, and it will be showing in a write mode. Now see, means whatever the packet or message you sent from the source to the destination, it will be successfully acknowledged. And if you click on this message, okay, you are getting your all the details of your ISO OSI model, means all the 7 layers. So this communication is done up to the network layer, that is in the header of your layer 3, that is IP packet, we have the transmitter IP address. Sorry, so it is destination IP address. Now this is the response actually, that is why the source IP address is 1.3. Okay, and destination is nothing but your receiver IP address. Okay, here it will be there. So 1.1, the packet is moving from 1.1, and the destination IP address is 1.3. And what kind of message we send? It is ICMP message. Okay, so network layer is responsible for the communication from source to the destination directly with the help of IP addresses. But if I'm talking about layer 2, that is the data link layer. So I'm here the physical addresses or MAC addresses of both the devices. Okay, so easily we can analyze all these contents. So again, I'm coming back to the real time mode. Okay, so if you have understand this, now what I'm going to do that instead of switch, I can go with the hub, because you should know earlier we use the hub in a network, but hubs are not that much intelligent than network switch, and that is why now everybody shifted to the network switch. So what I'm going to do, I'm now deleting this switch, and I'm just taking the hub, because I need to check why not hub is intelligent, what it can do, and because of that we can say that it is not intelligent. So I'm now connecting it with the help of the connecting cables. So now see, it will look like it is not a crossover cable, but these are the straight cable. Now see, these are not dotted lines, and if you are observing this cable, it will be showing that it is straight cable, because it is a communication between two different devices. One is a computer, another is the hub. Okay, now we have already given the what you can say, the messages. Okay, now let us go to the simulation, okay, and play it. Now see, the message is coming to the hub. Now see what hub does. Hub will broadcast the message to all the devices, but actually it has to transmit that message to 1.3 receiver. Again, the acknowledgement is coming to the hub, and hub is again broadcasting the acknowledgement to all the devices. And that is the problem where traffic increases in your network. Hub will act as a broadcast domain. It is not that much intelligent. What it can do, it will receive the packet from one of the port and simply forward that packet to all the ports associated with the hub. Okay, whether it can be a request or whether it can be acknowledgement. Every time the messages are broadcasted, and because of that there will be having a huge traffic in your network, and because of that it might be the chances of collision of packet in your network, and that will degrade your performance of your network. Understood? Any doubts up till now?
No, sir.
No? Okay.
No, sir.
Yes. So once it is observed or understand what is the difference between hub and the switch, then let us talk about our first application of computer networks as an web server. Okay, how we are going to design our home, that is one of the web server. Okay, so what I needed, I click on the end devices and I can take the server over here. Okay, and suppose this is the server of PCCOE. I am providing the name of that server as PCCOE server, and I needed some of the computers. From that I can access the web page, whatever the web page I designed, and that is available in the web server. Okay, what can be the next task then? I need to assign the IP addresses, but before that what I needed to connect this server to all these computers. Yes, anybody? How I can connect these 3 computers to one server directly?
With the help of straight cable.
With the help of?
Straight cable.
So we can take the switches. Okay, now network switch we can take in between. Okay, and now I can connect all the devices directly to that specific switch, network switch. So once it is connected, okay, now what I need to do, I need to assign the IP address to all the devices. So first I need to check and give the IP address to the server. So click on the server, go to the desktop, go to the IP configuration, and again provide the IP address of a server is 192.168.1.1. You can choose any IP address. It depends on you. Okay, and now same IP address I can write in a gateway. It acts as a gateway. Okay, so same IP address of server, as it is a server, I can write this as a gateway address. Okay, and I'm providing the IP address from the same range to rest of the devices. So 192.168.1.2, but the default gateway I can write 192.168.1.1. That is the gateway of your web server. Okay, so click on another system, provide the IP address 192.168.1.3. subnet mask will be automatically taken, and here provide the gateway as the IP address of your server as 1.1. And for the final system, again configure, go to the configure and provide 1.4, the subnet mask value, and the default gateway is 1.1. Yes, so I'm ready with the what you can say, the configuration. Now simply I need to check the consistency or connectivity between the devices, that is client to the server. So I can click on any system and ping the server. So ping 192.168.1.1, and yes, I'm getting the responses. Means whatever the logical connection we established is now working. Now click on to the server if you have this option now, here you have here the services option. Okay, and here there are a number of different roles your server can perform will be observed here. Your server can be act as a web server, also it can be DHCP server, the FTP server, DNS server, email server, FTP server. You can assign any role to the server. Okay, now I am currently showing it for web server. So you need to design the HTML, you need to write certain HTML code, hypertext markup language that is very popular, web page tool or the language. Currently we are using PHP also. Okay, and here we have this HTML page. So click on this portion as a edit. Okay, I'm editing it. So this is some of the code or lines of codes it is written. Okay, so I'm now simply here changing or doing the modification as welcome to PCCOE. Okay, I have simply write this message as welcome to PCCOE, and this is one of my HTML page. I'll show you how to create a small HTML page, but this is the by default ready-made page is available in the server. So for identification, I have simply changed this name as welcome to PCCOE. Okay, and then you can save it and you can overwrite it. Okay, now this page, click on HTTP. If it is in off mode, you can click on the on mode. Okay, so once it has been done, so your configuration is over now. So what you need to do, click on any system, client system, and what you needed to browse the web page, you needed the web browser, and it is available over here. Now click on this particular web browser, and what you need to give in a URL, that is the IP address of your web server, which is 192.168.1.1. and if I hit enter, now see whatever the web page that I have created or that is available in between, but I have only changed this particular statement, which is welcome to PCCOE. Or you can create your own web page also. Simply paste it and you can get the access of it immediately. Okay, so initially I'm accessing my web page with the help of IP address, but currently how we are browsing the web pages with the help of DNS server. Okay, so means it is the name IP address to name mapping. So we human cannot remember the numbers easily, but we can remember the names. That is why every individual will be having our own name. Okay, so in the same way, one nomenclature, some naming system was introduced, and its name is domain name system. So instead of suppose writing this, why not I can go with www.pccoe.com. So if I hit enter, I should get my IP or that web page. So for that purpose, what you need to do, you need to design one other server, or you can give the role of this server as DNS server. Okay, so understood about this web server, because later on we can move with the next concept, that is the domain name system server. How we can get it, because every time we are browsing the web page with the help of names, google.com, facebook.com, okay, in this way. So I'm just going to elaborate it by taking the help of a DNS server, how your requests are going. So if you are opening the browser and write google.com, so that request is going to the DNS server of that particular country, and from that the IP address will be found from the routing table. Okay, and it is a mapping of your name to the IP address. So IP address will be captured, stored in the packet of all the packets coming from the transmitter, and then the packet will be traveled towards the destination Google server. So initially you should have the DNS server first. So up till now it is understood how we can go with the web server.
Yes, sir.
Any query about it?
No, sir.
Okay, then we can go with the next content, which is the DNS server. Okay, so what I am going to do, I'm just taking here 3 different servers, 1, 2, and here 3. Okay, so first server I can say it is a Google server. Okay, another server I can say it is a Facebook server, and the third one is your DNS server. Okay, I need to configure or assign the 3 different roles to 3 different servers. So what I needed next, I needed one switch. I can take one switch, and I'm going to access these devices or web pages from my one of the device. So this is the client system, and all these 3 are the servers associated with the distinct locations. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I need to first establish the connections. So I'm now simply connecting these servers and the client system as well. Yes, so if I have physically connected all the devices, I need to create or assign the IP address, that is logical addressing, to connect it. Okay, now what I'm going to do, click on the first Google server, go to the desktop and give the IP address as 192.168.1.10. Suppose I have taken this one of the IP address randomly. Okay, this is the IP address of the Google server, 1.10. Click on the Facebook server, give the IP address as 192.168.1.11. Okay, and that's it. So first one is 1.10, that is the IP address of Google. Second one is 1.11, that is the IP address of your Facebook server. Now before the DNS, I can go with the client system, and I can give the IP address as 192.168.1. Suppose it is 14 or 13, suppose. Continuation, I am providing it. Okay, and I am giving the IP address to the DNS server 192.168.1.100. Now for identification, I am providing these numbers as 100. Now as this is the DNS server, okay, so I am simply copy this and paste it in DNS field. Oh, sorry. I'm copying it, and in front of DNS, I simply paste it. So this setting I need to do on each and every device. That is your DNS server. So your packet, your request should be go to the DNS server first. So I need to go with the Facebook server. Here also you need to provide your DNS. Here also go to the configuration, go to the DNS. Here provide the IP address of DNS, and for client also you should go with this DNS. So once it has been done, so you need to design these 2 servers for web pages and this DNS server for doing the responsibility or mapping of name to the IP address and vice versa. Okay, so I can go to the Google, I can go to the services, and for identification, now HTTP, that is the first web service, I can edit it, and for understanding I can write it over welcome to Google. Okay, so I come to know that I am accessing the Google server. Okay, I'm saving it, I'm overwriting it. So now initially if it is off, you can make it on after the configuration. So I have configured my first server, that is Google server. I can go with the another server as a Facebook server, and going to the services, going to the HTTP, and edit this particular HTML file, and I'm writing it here. Welcome to Facebook. So these are the 2 servers, web servers I have created. Okay. Now go to the HTTP again, turn it on, turn it off. Now these 2 servers are ready now. Now if you go to the client, go to the browser, and if you are simply accessing the web page, let us see 192.168.1.11. I think 11 is the IP address of your Google server. Yes, sorry, it is for Facebook. Okay, I think it
It's
is
a 10.
10. The Google server is 10. Okay,
10, 10, yes.
okay, thank you. So go to the web browser and provide the IP address 192.168.1.10. So if I hit enter, so I get the web page of Google server. And if I write the IP address of 1.11, sorry, and if I hit the enter, I can get the response in terms of Facebook web page. But what I am interested in, instead of these IP address, because we don't know what is the IP address of Google, what is the IP address of Facebook. So in that case, your DNS server will help you. Okay, so you need to configure the service in your DNS server. So click on the DNS server, go to the services, and here below the services tab, you have the option of here DNS, that is domain name system. So initially it is in off state. You need to provide here the name of the resources or record that needs to find in the table, record table. So I'm writing here www.google.com, and what is the IP address we provided for the Google? You need to write it here. It is 192.168.1.10, and this record needs to be added into its memory. Okay, in the same way, I can provide another DNS name of www.facebook.com, and the respective IP address I need to map 192.168.1.11. So if I'm adding it, now if you're observing in the record, two options are available. That is mapping of 192.168.1.10. This is the IP address of your Google server, and 192.168.1.11. This is the IP address of your Facebook server. So instead of using the IP address, can I use the DNS name to access the web pages? Now yes, but you need to turn on this service. So once you turn on this DNS service, close this, and now open the browser in your client system. Okay, now go to the browser and here type it www.google.com. You should get your web page. Yes, so what it has been done, your request, see, your request from client system, it is going to the DNS server. From the DNS server, the name to IP mapping has been done. That name is IP address is found, and that request is again going back towards the Google server, and it will fetch the record or web page to the your device. Okay, and that is why you are now getting your web page. In the same way, I can write www.facebook.com, and if I hit enter, now see, it's welcome to Facebook. So these are the web pages that we have created earlier and that we are accessing from my client system. So here this DNS server plays a very vital role, very important role for mapping of name to IP address and vice versa. Okay, so in this way your requests are routed always via DNS server. So that is why we have lots of subtypes of your DNS. That is, every time you are getting the URL in terms of .in, .com, .net, .org. Okay, in this way. So if it is .in, these are the country domains, just like .in, .uk, .us. Okay, so each country will be having their own DNS server allocated, where the name to mapping, DNS name to the IP address mapping have been stored over there. Okay, so if one of the requests is coming, it first going to the DNS server, and then it will be transmitted back, because the IP address is taken from the DNS server, and then it will be stored in the header of your packet, and then your
Hello?
packet is ready. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, I do have a confusion. If the DNS server feature or the function we will consider on we will configure on a Google server itself, then also it will be work, right?
Yes, it
And
will work.
if
Yeah.
if it will be at the remote, or it will be on a second or the third server,
Yes.
then it is compulsory, or we can say it's necessary to have a communication directly with the Google only via DNS server. Is that correct?
Means you are saying that why not DNS server role will be assigned to the same Google server?
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
The first thing has clear. Is it also possible that DNS server can be configured on a Google server? That is
Yes.
clear. No
Yes.
worry. But the thing is, now see, now I am requesting for a Google.com from my
Okay.
system, like this, from the client system, right? Right.
Okay.
With the help of switch. So my PC is directly requesting for a Google.com, right?
Yes.
But as DNS service is on, it is necessary, or it will take default route via DNS server. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. Definitely. It will first. Your packet is going to the DNS compulsory.
If we do not configure the DNS name in that on the EN machine, that then also it will work like the same, right?
Yes. Means everything should be there in a DNS
Okay,
server.
okay, okay. I got that. At the time of configuration, IP configuration on server one and server two, like Google and the Facebook,
Yes.
we have configured the what I can say, the IP address of DNS in a subnet, right?
DNS server. We have given in that DNS field in Google server and Facebook server
Okay,
there.
okay, great, great, great. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, sir.
Yeah. Yes. So any query about this particular DNS server as well as web server, so that we can move ahead. Okay. Now, if it is clear, now I can go with the next application of this computer network. That is, so it is Wi-Fi server configuration. So normally every individual now currently using the Wi-Fi at their homes. So how you can configure the Wi-Fi network, how the devices can be securely connected to your Wi-Fi router, and how the authentication has been done. So up till now we have seen in wired connectivity. Now we can shift this with the wireless connectivity. Okay. So now what I am going to do, I'm just taking, instead of computers, I'm now taking the laptops. So laptops will be having the wireless connectivity option as in Wi-Fi, that is IEEE 802.11. This is the standard of your Wi-Fi. And to connect this particular three different laptops, I needed one Wi-Fi router, so that wirelessly these devices can be communicated with each other. So I can click on the network devices. Under this wireless device, I have the option as a home router. Okay, so if I purchase a new router, how to configure it, and how the devices such as your laptops, your mobile phones, or any wireless compatible devices, how we can connect with securely with your home network. Okay, so what I am going to do first, initially these three laptops are there, so I can need to configure this router first. I need to check what is the IP address of this router, so that all the devices can be connected effectively. So I can click on the router, and now this is the actual structure backend of your router, where you can have 4 LAN switches or ports where you can connect the 4 different CAT cables. Means your router also act as a network switch also. Okay, so 4 devices physically you can connect it. We have one port for sharing of internet. Okay, for turning on and off we have this switch. Okay, and then power it off we have this particular adapter cable. Okay, and if I go to the configuration mode, okay, so I can have here multiple interfaces. So currently nowadays we are having a Wi-Fi available in 2 different bands. Okay, the first, it is by default, it is operated in 2.4 gigahertz, as well as it is for 5 gigahertz also, for getting the maximum data rate or bandwidth. So if I'm clicking on, suppose if it is a normal Wi-Fi router, I can go with to 2.4 gigahertz of the range. And the very first option is available there is SSID. So that is the name we are providing for your Wi-Fi hotspot or your access point. So whatever the name you are providing under the SSID, we can, the destination devices such as your Wi-Fi or mobile phones or laptops, you can observe it. So take an example. Currently I am connected the Wi-Fi. Now see, I am getting here n number of different names of the Wi-Fi. Okay, so these are the SSID name. That is basic service set identification names. Because if I'm creating one small network, it acts as a BSS with access point. That is basic service set with access point, also called as infrastructural network. Because there are two different types of networks are there: ad hoc network and the infrastructural network. Ad hoc network is, it is a BSS without access point. We never want an access point or intermediary device. Just like I'm having a two mobile phones and I'm mutually exchanging the data from the two devices. None of the intermediate devices available in between. But in this Wi-Fi, it is a BSS with access point, means your access point is nothing but your Wi-Fi router. So I'm just providing here the name of the hotspot, and suppose it is PCCOE. Okay, so this is the hotspot name I am getting when I turn on the Wi-Fi on my destination device, where I need to connect to the Wi-Fi router. Okay, and for providing the authentication, I'm having here n number of different options. I can encrypt the password with the help of different algorithms over here. Okay, so first is WEP, that is wired equivalent privacy. This is the very well known and popular algorithm for encryption purpose. Okay, so for currently I'm using WPA, that is Wi-Fi protected access fetch shift keying. This is one of the again popular algorithm for encrypting your password, and I'm here providing the password as PCCOE $123, because your password do consist of the alphabets, special characters, and numerical values also for getting a strong password. Okay, so I have provided the SSID of the Wi-Fi router is PCCOE, and the WPA2 PSK is the algorithm I am using to encrypt my password. So it is PCCOE $123. Okay, but I should know what is the IP address of my router. So this is the firmware. If you visit to the GUI, that is graphical user interface, you are getting this firmware. Means the router is a hardware device, but user can configure the things by visiting its firmware. So firmware is a tiny operating system installed in a routers, so that user can do the configurations accordingly their need, and your router will work accordingly. Okay, now see, this router will be having the IP address which is written here, 192.168.0.1. okay, and the default subnet mask is 3 times 255 and 0. Okay, now if I know the IP address of my router, now I can go to the laptop configuration, click on the laptop. Now this will look like your laptop. So this is the your bottommost part, and this is the screen available. Okay, and here you are observing one button to turn the device off and turn it on. Okay, and here you have your LAN port, but I needed here wireless NIC card, that is network interface card, but it should be wireless. Now what I need to do, I need to turn off this laptop. I need to simply drag this LAN, I need to remove it and release it over here. Now see, this LAN port is now opened. Now I have the privilege to install the wireless NIC. So here you have the option of wireless aerial. Here it is, antenna is showing wireless aerial. So simply drag and attach here. Okay, so earlier LAN port I have removed from the laptop and I have used here wireless NIC card, and then I can turn on this device. Okay, once this device is turned on, I can go to the desktop, or instead desktop you can go to the configuration, and here you have the interfaces. Click on the wireless, because just we have selected the wireless network or the NIC card. Here you have the privilege to write down the details of your router where you need to connect to. So SSID is you need to provide it here, PCCOE, and authentication algorithm you need to use as PWPA2PSK, and password I am providing PCCOE $123. Okay, once it is provided, now see, the device should automatically connect to the router. Now it will be showing, now see, some dotted dash lines, means it will be indicated that the laptop, this first laptop, is connected to my router. Okay, and it will get automatically one IP address. Now see, the IP address, if you are observing, is 192.168.0.100. I'll show you it again. Click on the laptop, go to the desktop, and here in IP configuration, now see, instead of static you need to select now the DHCP, because Wi-Fi router will automatically assign the IP address to your laptops. So you need to select this DHCP option, dynamic host configuration protocol, and it assigns the IP address as 192.168.0.100, and the respective subnet mask is 3 times 2550. But if you are observing, your gateway is nothing but it is the IP address of your router, which is 192.168.0.1, because this gateway have provided this IP address. But again the question is coming into our mind, why this router have given this IP as 0.100? Why not other? That is, we have configured in the router. So go to the router, and if you go to the GUI, now see, here it will be showing the option your DHCP server is currently enabled, and if you are getting the request, it will be providing the IP address which is starting from, that is starting IP address is 192.168.0.100. So this first IP address is assigned. And how many devices can be connected? So you can change it. Currently it is provided 50. So if your IP address starts from 100, it ends with 140. So that is why you have this range, 192.168.0.100 to 192.168.0.149. Total 50 devices can be connected to your Wi-Fi router. You can increase the count also by changing the status, not an issue, but this will increase the traffic in your network. Understood? So this your first system is now connected. In the same way you can connect other laptops also. So you turn on, turn off this particular device, remove this wired NIC card, connect wireless NIC card, turn it on, go to the desktop, go to the configuration, go to the wireless, and here provide the credentials of your hotspot, that is PCCOE, and here WPA2PSK as a PCCOE $123. Once this configuration is taken, your second device also connected to the Wi-Fi. Now see, again it will be showing by this particular dash lines. Now again do the same thing for the remaining one. Turn it off, remove the wired NIC card, attach the wireless, turn it on, go to the configuration, go to the wireless, provide the SSID PCCOE, and authentication code is PCCOE. Now suppose by mistakenly I have not provided here the proper password of Wi-Fi. Your system will say that, now see, you're not properly provided your IP address and this particular system is not connected to the Wi-Fi router. So you need to take care of the things that you need to provide the proper password of your Wi-Fi. So PCCOE $123. Okay, and once you close this, If you have properly configured it, now see my all the three laptops are now connected with this wireless router. So if I want to ping the destination, I can ping it. Okay, so I need to check what is the IP address of each and every device. So this IP address or this device is having the IP address 192. So I'm writing it for understanding, 192.168.0.100. If you're observing, if you move your cursor on the laptop, you're getting this window where everything, the information is available, it's shown there. It is 192.168.0.100. Okay, go to the next. Am I audible? Okay, yes. Go to the next. It is IP address getting for second laptop is 192.168.0.101. So I am here providing 192.168.0.101, and for third one it would be 192.168.0.102. Sequentially, IP addresses will be provided on lease basis. Now see, what is lease basis? A certain time allotted, time duration will be allotted to you. I'm just giving one example. If you do the recharge on your mobile phone for your data, then what happened? This request is goes to the internet service providers. Service providers will provide you one unique static IP which is globally identified and unique. And now you can have that privilege to use that IP for 1 month duration. So that 1 month duration is the lease duration. Means you can use that IP for 1 month. And as you are getting that unique IP address from the internet service providers, your device can be the part of internet. Okay, and once that lease is over, if lease is expired, then your device cannot be the part of your internet because it never gets the IP address from the ISP. So again, you need to renew your lease, means you need to again do the recharge again on your mobile phone. In the same way, the mobiles or wireless devices such as laptops, mobile phones, okay, will get the IP from the router on a lease basis, and this lease will be always incrementing. Once the lease is expired, it will incrementing because this is a free content, free network. If you are taking it from the ISP, then it will get certain amount of pay. You need to pay as per use. Okay. Now suppose I am now pinging the destination. Now I'm using this command prompt and I'm pinging 192.168.0.10. Now see, I'm pinging this last device. Yes. Now see, I'm getting these responses. Means each and every device within this network is now capable of sharing the data via this access point. Understood? So again, how you can give secure your Wi-Fi network. So you need to go to the setting of your Wi-Fi router, and under this security tab, okay, not in security tab, in wireless security, you can provide the password, okay, but we have one option as wireless MAC filter. You can click on that. If it is observed, now see, if you want to create a secured Wi-Fi network, then you should know the MAC address of the devices that you are using. For example, in your house, you are using suppose 4 mobile phones and 4 laptops. Then you should find the MAC address of it. Okay, go to the setting and find out the MAC address, and those MAC address you need to enter in these lists. And you can enable this feature. If you enable this feature, the request is first goes to the router. Router will check whether these MAC addresses are available in the routing table. If it is available, then you can have these options. Permit PCs below listed below to access wireless network. So whatever the MAC addresses you are providing here, those only capable of getting the access of internet. Otherwise, they cannot. So how you are predicting, how you are securing your network? Even though any other user, if they know the password of your Wi-Fi, cannot access the internet, because whatever the device that user is using, that MAC address is not added in this particular table, and that is why your network becomes very much secure. In the same way, you can deny the devices which have the MAC address listed below. So this is the option also available. You can permit the devices as well as you can deny the devices also with the MAC address provided below in the table. Okay, so this will provide you the dual security. Okay, one, you should know the Wi-Fi password, access point password, and other one, you should enter the MAC address of the devices that we are using in this Wi-Fi router. Okay, so in this way you can get the access. Now whatever the things you have did earlier, you can do it with the wireless network also, means a web server also. You can take one server, okay, then go to the server. You have this particular CPU of the server. Here is the switch, you need to turn it off, remove this particular port, LAN port, and attach it here, the wireless port. Turn it on, okay, go to the desktop, go to the IP configuration, or before the gate you can go to the wireless and provide here the details of the Wi-Fi, PCCoE, and here PCCoE $123. So now see, your server also connected to the router. See, okay, and now if you want to access, go to the server and design your web page. So go to the service, go to the HTTP, and here I am again changing the name as welcome to PCCoE. Save it. Okay, and now any device within the network can get the access of this particular server. Now let us see, but before that you need to check the consistency, whether it is connected or not. So simply ping it, but you need to check what is the IP address of your server. Now if you go to here, it will be 192.168.0.103. you can check it here also, 192.168.0.103. So that IP address you need to write in the browser. Go to the browser. Here 192.168.0.103. See, you are immediately getting the web page that we have configured in the server. So with the help of wireless or with the help of wired connectivity also, you can get the access of web server. Understood? So in the same way, I can go with the FTP server also. Go to the service, go to the FTP. Okay, here provide the username. Suppose I am providing PCCoE is the username. Password, suppose I am providing simple one as 123, and I am providing the authentication or permission as write, read, delete, rename, list. So whatever the files are listed here, you can rename it, delete it, you can do anything, you can read it, everything. Okay, and now you can turn on this FTP. Okay, how you are going to get the access of these files available in this particular server? Go to the any device, okay, go to the command prompt, and here write the command as FTP and write the IP address of the server, 192.168.0.103. and if you hit the enter, it will ask to welcome to the FTP server, and it will asking the username. So I'm providing my username as PCCoE, and I hit enter. Okay, no such account. Okay, let me check it once again. Okay, I can go to the FTP. Okay, I have not added it, sorry. So I'm removing it. I'm using PCCoE password 123, and I'm providing all the permissions. So I forgot to add it. Add it so that that record would be saved. And then you can go to the any device, go to the command prompt, and here write FTP and the IP address of the server that is 192.168.0.103. It will ask to enter the username. So provide PCCU as the username. Now see, now in this case it will be asking username is okay. Now try to write the password of the same. So I'm writing the password, but it cannot be visible as it is secret one. And once I hit enter, now it will be showing yes, you are logged in successfully. So if you want to see the various files of the server, I can use the command as dir, that is the directories. So if I hit enter, all the associated directories, I can access it from the remote location. And for example, now see, I'm having this file ASA842 and I want to delete it. Okay, so I can write it here command delete, delete, and I can paste that name. And once I hit enter, I'll be getting the message as yes, this file is successfully deleted. And again, you are checking the directory. Okay, now that first file was deleted. Means you can get the access of each and every command from the different locations. Understood? So in this way, we can configure any network with the help of wired connectivity as well as with the help of wireless connectivity. So understood? If you have any query, you can raise it. Yes? Do you have any query about this particular session?
No, sir.
No? Understood?
Yes.
So we can go with multiple kinds of the server implementation, but up till now, that's it from my side. Okay. So if you have any query about, yes, sorry.
Sir, is it possible to have to get the recording of the today's
Yes,
session?
yes,
Because
yes,
it
definitely.
was very useful for the Cisco packet tracer.
Yes, yes, definitely. We can do lots of things. Yes, I am going to share all these videos, all the 5 days video from the Google Drive, and that recordings will be available with the study material, that is nothing but the slides as well as any kind of study material we'll providing you. Everything will be providing to you on your WhatsApp group or on your email also.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, yes,
Sir,
yes.
sir, actually, I have a doubt. If means like in cyber security, if someone traces your IP address without being present in that, means if I am connected to the LAN server of local area, so
Okay.
how the IP address of my device is traced by another person, third party person, which is not in my LAN service?
So now see what they will always do. They will always doing trying different techniques to enter into your network. So that we can say is the packet sniffing. So what they will always try to do, they will monitor your network and try to monitor one of the packet which is coming from your network. And if they are monitoring it with the help of certain packet analyzer tool, the header of the packet consisting of your detailed information, that is your username, your password, everything is available along with the IP address, MAC address, everything. And that is why in the tomorrow or day after tomorrow session, I'll be taking the hands-on session or introduction of Wireshark packet tool. Okay, so for providing or getting this particular valuable information, what is available in the packet, how the username and passwords are associated with the packet, and how the secured or unsecured communication can be identified. So everything I'll be going to provide you in the next hands-on
Okay, sir.
sessions.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
sir, Wireshark is also like a packet tracer, right?
No, Wireshark is actually it is a packet analyzer tool. So means you can analyze the content of each and every packets in a detailed way.
Okay, it means like before some time we were looking for a simulation in packet tracer, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that time it was showing the protocols and the protocol what I can say, yeah, protocol name and the destination and the source, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
Wireshark will show the details and header, footer, fragmentation, these kind of things.
Everything, what are the header content, what are the trailer content, your PDU, everything will be detailedly analyzed with the help of Wireshark packet tool.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah. So anyone, any participant, if you do have any query, you can raise it. So I think tomorrow's session we're going to cover the different types of networking devices that we are using to design any specific network application. Okay, so how to identify these devices and how to implement a specified network also, that we're going to cover in tomorrow's session. Okay, so I think we'll wind this particular session. If you have query, you can raise it. Otherwise, we can stop today.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Bye.
Yes, yes. Thank you all of you for listening to me patiently. Okay, we'll see in the tomorrow's session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.